Hey, welcome to my show. It's Kevsyourking, Kevs, your guy in the sky who loves to fly. Yes, that's me indeed. Hello and welcome across the world. We are going to have a little fun today. I'm showing you a couple of my setups, but I'm also just have some friends and fans that are interested in learning more about the nuances of 2020 flight sim versus 2024. This flight today is going to cover 2020 and some additional features and functionality that's available. So for those of you who enjoy Microsoft 2020 version over 2024, understand I started in 2020. Wow, a long time ago. Many thousand hours of flight. So thousands of hours of flight. You tell me if that's a lot. Go ahead, tell me. There's some new updates here on the screen. You can see me kind of rolling around on the map. So we're going to go to the world map here. There's lots of new updates that were applied here. We are going to select. So there's a couple different ways to approach your flight preparation when you come into this. We're going to do a quick flight in Portugal. And we're going to use an A320 Neo fly-by-wire. And you can see there are a couple different ways to approach this, so I'll go back to the main screen. So if you're using something like a external flight planner like SimBrief, or Navigraph, and other tool sets, or in some cases you have different tools available to plan your flight out. So typically in most situations in 2020, regardless if you use an external, I find it helpful, at least for initial flight, to come in here and touch the main flight planning environment on the world map itself. So for my flight today, we're going to go from LPPT. So we select our departure, and I'm going to search for the airport because it's LPPT, and that's from Lisbon. And we're gonna fly out of runway. Oh, where did you go? 2? Yeah, 02. So we come here. And we go, I want 02. Okay. At this point, you don't have anything else to worry about except your intended arrival airport, location. As you can see, it's Francisco. So we've selected this, and this is going to be runway 35. Okay. So we're leaving Lisbon, heading to Porto, and we're going to take about just over an hour because we've got navigation here. So this is for VFR, visual flight recognition. So we're going to fly ILS. So we're going IFR, and we're doing low-level airways just to be able to get the main departure connect stuff. I happen to be using the FTM5M departure. So let's see if they got it in here. FTM5N02. That would be A-OK. So I select that. So we're basically taking the SimBrief material or any other flight planning tool material and content and publishing it to the configuration in Microsoft 2020. This works fairly easy for you. If you're not really sure, just take the defaults that come with it. You don't have to select a departure. You can go direct. There's nothing complex about it. So from this side of the fence, we're going to arrive at I have Able 6C, so Able 6C, Able 6C. And I had ILS, so we'll go. Well, that's interesting because I need to change this then. See, there's parts of this that I don't get from my flight planning tools that I like to play with the ILS in fly-by-wire system. I enjoy seeing how that functions. So I am now going to have to redo something. I have to edit my plan, and so according to this, the only ILS I'm going to get is a 17. So we're going to come in on 17. So let me make some changes here on my runway. We're going to turn around and come from the other direction. And it didn't change anything except for this. So we're going to use Ablet 3T. And then Zulu. IL-17Z, so the conditions are going to match out okay. Alright, so I got to generate that. I'm going to build my map out. We're going to have to do a U-turn as we come by, which is great because that'll give me my approach. So I programmed this to be similar to what I have on my flight sim path, so this will, it'll follow some of the basics. So right now I've got FTM 5M with FTM as its exit. So if I come down to this side of the fence, you can see. So these are your waypoints as you come out of here. So we're going to fly to that through FTM, right? So basically this first set of legs all matches. Then we go to ab leg and able 3T. So we're all good here. So I've matched it manually here, and you'll be amazed how much stuff you have to mess with when you're playing the game if you're going to follow a specific standard passenger flight. If you're just flying for fun, or a helicopter, or just a small aircraft, or anything else like that, just make sure you got a lot of fuel to go poke around and fly. There's no reason for you to have to put an initiated flight plan. You can register one here or import on the model. Let's say you have a different Cessna model. You wouldn't necessarily need to file a specific flight plan with Microsoft here. You can just drop in on an airport, fire up the airplane, and take off and fly around and land wherever you want, right? That's the fun nature of this game. You can see the world, you can sightsee all sorts of places. It's really nice. 24 has a better experience according to some. Well, that's just a matter of pushing client side imaging over to the server side. So tech people here, my friends, understand what that means. So from a gaming perspective, they're doing a lot of the processing on their side of the fence, and you can't interject into it. So when it screws up, you're screwed up. I've downloaded on 2020 all of the content possible, but you have to remember I have an upgraded PC. I have a 5090 card. It's the Founders Edition. It's a GeForce RTX 5090. It is the maximum card available within the last 6 months. So this is a video monster. I'll just say that. My PC is upgraded. Let's just say I invested over 8K. I dumped a lot of money into this equipment, revamped a lot of different things on it, and yet we still have problems processing at times. The game is just clunky in nature. But anyway, from my perspective, you don't have to. If you're playing this on PlayStation, never even think about this conversation. You can forward ahead 5 minutes. But for those that run these on PCs, it's better if you run it on a PC because you have a little more control on the graphics and the publication of the content itself as you're flying. You can stabilize it. I ran into some minor nuances with landing because of the imagery associated with landing. Their technique for displaying imagery, assets, etc. on the ground populates, and it overwhelms the actual processing of the flight itself. So sometimes you get stutters or jitters. If you go back a year ago, guys, you're going to laugh. You're going to see me swear and say naughty things all over the place because every time you go to land, I was getting a slight pause. Just a fraction of a second, but just enough for the experience to totally cause a clunky landing or mistimed landing or rudder overreaction because it continued processing the data without any input from my side of the fence, and that causes problems and the experience looks clunky. Anyway, what you see or experience is based on your configurations. Enjoy this game. It's nice. I happen to think the cloud patterns aren't any better in 24, but people swear that 24 is just this ultimate experience you have to see and enjoy, and I'm like, whatever. From my side of it, I don't see a lot of nuances or difference in flight over water or in clear skies. In the cloudy skies, you do see some nuances and differences between 20 and 24. I happen to like 20 from the simple perspective the game was more stable than 24. 2024 when it came out was absolutely horrible. It was unflyable for most of the aircraft. Now it has improved over time. They had a huge release, as most of you that fly know. Previously there was a big release here about 6 to 8 months ago that improved a lot of things, but from my perspective, they still haven't solved a couple minor issues, but I won't go into that. Once you have your flight set, come on over here and click your aircraft, liveries, etc. And like I said, I spent a lot of money on Phoenix. So some of you have heard me whine and complain about the money I spent on Phoenix. So Phoenix, whatever. This aircraft model, they made their own characteristic model of flight, and I'm not a big fan of it, quite frankly. I think their internal cockpit calculations create a lot of overhead on the game. So as time goes on, maybe they'll fix it and it'll become better. The aircraft also bounces a little bit more than it should. It's okay to have turbulence, but the aircraft shouldn't react like your Formula One driver. A slight tug of the wheel and all of a sudden you're 15 degrees off course. And it's like, no, it's more subtle than that. It's too rigid. You can adapt your controls, my friends. I complain about it, but I use default out of box. So default out of box means I'm trying not to change standard configuration so that my experience is consistent with everyone else on that simulates or flies. Now, if I wanted to make this work, I could spend hours and hours and hours trimming back the actual configuration of my devices and add a little more response on the rudder, or remove a little response rate on the, lower it on the rudder. I could go through and fine tune all of the controls for my own personal experience to make it fly the way it should. But that's just personal myself. Most people don't take the time to do that. So all you noobs that go out there and want to just play, don't worry about it. Just don't waste your $80 on a flight model that you're going to be frustrated with. In 2020, there were limited versions of aircraft that were passenger oriented. So the 310, the 320, etc., etc. So I highly recommend going with several add-ons that are free. Now, most of you that have been here know that I absolutely enjoy flying the Headwinds Solution or Simulations A339. It's the A330neo 941. It is a fun flight model, but it's based off a mandatory A320 fly-by-wire version. So the internal cockpit configurations and processing is all fly-by-wire. So the combination of fly-by-wire simulations, they're A320neo, and you can do the A380, but the A320 and the A339 are partnered. So load your A320neo fly-by-wire simulations. I use this LEAP configuration, so we're going to select that today because that's what we're flying. And then there are a couple different websites that you can download liveries, etc. And I want to know what happened to my TAP. Are you kidding me, man? We're in Portugal. Oh my. Oh, my TAP is gone. Well, I'll have to figure out what happened with that. Anyway, there's a communities folder where you can, there are certain websites you can go to, there's a bunch of them, but you can get additional skins or overlays on the flight model that you're flying and make it look like it's a realistic American Airlines, JetBlue, or kind of EasyJet, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of different skins for all kinds of aircraft. Man, this really bugs me. I like to fly native local airlines inside my simulation for the countries or places that I'm visiting, so this is kind of a bummer for me because I picked Portugal specifically to demo it, but I didn't check to see if the skin was available, so you know what? For giggles, then we're just going to do something silly. I like JetBlue. I don't want Wiz. Well, we'll take a dirty French aircraft, fly it through Portugal. Watch them throw stones at it. Anyway, you can come in here, select your aircraft and your liveries, your weight and balance. This will come from your flight plan simulator. Otherwise, just go ahead and balance this out. Make sure that this top slider gets selected for fuel, etc. Okay. I have failures and customizations on my configuration. I turned off the failure systems because the last time I flew about across a long flight, I actually had a problem pop up. The game automatically gave me certain failures, and it cascaded and I crashed, and I wasn't expecting that because I forgot that I had it turned on. So turn them off unless you want to see your engine fail on you mid-flight. You're like, okay, we're gonna crash. Unless you want to practice a simulation of having something happen, then yeah, for the experts, go ahead and do what you're gonna do. But for me, I just double check a couple of these things. I typically leave the wear and tear at 0. I don't worry about that. So other than that, this is all set. So then you can just click on the little icon. We have our flight. We're ready to go. And then you could go and change any of your controller setups, etc. once you get into the game. But let's get into it. Let's go, man. I've been talking for 20 minutes. I'll have to see if I can turn on chapters. So chapter 2. We're going to load up here because I designated in that main map, I designated being on the runway. So this is going to fire me up all set and ready. Engines start, well, it's supposed to. We'll see what happens. It may not, but it's supposed to fire me up on the runway, ready to go. Freckles is my co-pilot today, so we'll talk to Freckles in a bit. But we are good to go. It takes a if you're running this on the PC, it can take depending upon the speed of your PC, it can take a few minutes to fire up. This is one of the downfalls of Microsoft 2020. It is a bit slower to load. So Microsoft optimized the startups.
Ready for IFR departure runway 02. Cleared for takeoff runway 02.
Well.
Runway 02, KED 777.
You're in 4K, so make sure to switch it over to 4K if you aren't. I am sorry, you're missing the experience. This looks beautiful in my screens. Absolutely cool as can be, man. I have triple screens. I have a big desktop. 28 inch monitors, 3 of them all connected, a little bit of wraparound, so I'm immersed without having to use VR. The VR experience of Microsoft 2020 is stable, looks nice. Some of the details don't populate or push quite as fast as you like, but it still looks awesome. You get a different sense on the peripherals when you have a wraparound head VR set on. Just make sure if you're using VR, you don't knock stuff over. I used the last time I used it, I punched a monitor and damn near knocked my desk over. Yeah. Anyway, lesson learned. Be careful with VR. So when I come in here, I'm in the headwinds, or fly-by-wire, A320 Neo. So it comes in preset with a lot of different things. In this mode in 2020, you do have your switches up top. You're all set. The engines are fired. We have the configuration in the cockpits all set to go. Freckles is happy. A lot of these presets are initiated for you. The one thing that doesn't default that I set as part of my programming is when you come over here and load your pad. If you go down this you know, switch configuration, your presets, I have lights as a preset, so I load my lights. I misspelled it. LASGTGHTS. Yeah, that works. Anyway, so there's also interior lighting and then states. So if you want to add presets for time of day, you can do it down here using these, or you can set your own preferences based on weather or whatever. I just turn everything on and be done with it. This also has startups, steps, etc. You can pre-configure the A320 to do a lot of other things. But for the main part, it's going to start after you've done that. You'll come to your main panel. Come on. And there's going to be the import. So this bugger down here, the FMGC is not set. So you have to reset everything here. So when you click that, it's going to fire up. GPS is set. All of the defaults here, it's basically taken to the init page. You got to come in here and then you can init request or manually load it. Last year you guys saw me loading a lot of details inside the FMC, so we're going to do this because I use SimBrief today, so I have SimBrief connected. Boom, it's loading all of my details. Boom, shake the room, good to go. So you can see it pre-populates some of the basics here. This is your weather section and some other maintenance charts and checklists and other things here that you could put as part of this main screen here. But you can see this just repeats the flight plan details I told you about when we did it from the main map. I had to plan it out. I planned it out in SimBrief for fuel, etc. So you can click on that. After importing, I tend to switch to, oh, come on, where are you? There you go. Oh, great, thank you. This is the flight plan, that details that I loaded from SimBrief. Now, to get that to come over here on your MCDU, there's an init request, so you can click this little button, right? Why is everything going off a little bit today? And it's going to load it up. So you can see here all of the details I told you about LPPT to LPPR. I don't have any alternative designated. We're just going to fly and have some fun today. So this is where you guys have seen me play a lot in the past. Some of the defaults like flight number details, you've seen me all punch this stuff in. So the performance tab, these don't typically fill in, so you have to punch them in. You can get the details, but I come back over on this side of the fence and do some calculations. So this little calculator gives you some basics. You can see here, this filled me in. And my config was a standard flex 1. We're good to go. Flaps 1. But it didn't calculate here. So I'm going to push calculate, and it does give me 142 for all of these. I think there's a little glitch in their matrix because you don't normally have V1 and VR at the same. So that's why you guys have always seen me manually play with this. So I'll do the 142 as V1. My rotate, I typically do somewhere around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So in this case, I'll do 147. We'll add 5 miles on that. And then 155. I'll just punch 155. Normally I've been doing 145, 155, somewhere in there for V1, depending upon how heavy it is. We have a decent passenger count here, but it's a shorter flight, so we don't have as much fuel weight, so this is going to require a little bit lower speed for takeoff. I can punch these on. These don't automatically come on, so your terrain on your scorecards at home doesn't go on automatically. You can see all my other switches are set except for this. In the fly-by-wire, they haven't initiated this yet, but at some point they will. We'll get the experience. So this is set, set, set. The one thing, this is on auto, and the the ident is set, and it's on TARA when you're at the runway. But I do this. I tend to prefer it being on, not auto, just to ensure the tower and control systems have recognized that I have my transponder on and communication everywhere. So, alright, so from here I want to quick check the tower, and they're telling me 3003, so I switch this over. There we go, 3003. There you go. Cleared to take off. 321 at 08. I don't have it registered here, but we're good to go. So we'll do this. I'm going to set this. Six. We'll set all of this stuff up once we kick it into gear. I do make sure that these are full to the right. So those are set. 3 greens here. Brake fans on. Cool. This is on. Set, set, set. Alright, so now you go. Normally in your checklist, you've gone through all the checklist stuff, so for me it's just a quick check that nav's all set. 1, 2, 3. No lights, no bells, no whistles. Auto sync up top. We have captain and purser, evac. We have the crew supply is on. Ground control. We'll call the ball. Oh, you heard the ding dong. It wasn't working the other day for me. So then our light switches, so come on. Roll back. Why don't you want to roll back? No, you're just playing weird on me today. Okay. Oh, okay, mouse went crazy. Alright, so we'll turn you. I see the mouse interaction is going to be a headache for today. Anyway, this is important when you're in flight. This is associated with automated air pressure internal on the cabin, so these are on. In the summertime, you don't need to turn. Oh, come on. Why won't you register? There. You don't need to turn that on. I turn it on anyway, just in case I run into weird scenarios in the sky. These are all set. Typically this marker right here will keep it about 21 Celsius, and you don't need it high unless it's hot and you're cooling down the aircraft, or it's cold and you're heating the cabin and the passenger sections up. Freckles is ignorant, but she handles the ATC because I have it configured that way. So she's already made the call. I double check the flaps 1. Engines are set. This is in that position. Set, 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 set. All around. We're ready to go. So the last steps after the performance inputs here is you can go to program and you could preset a bunch of stuff here, but I'll do this in flight. But the primary here for me is just to ensure the flight plan is set. So click the flight plan. And on this we're going to click to make sure our, oh come on, it says FTM, but I want it, there we go. Double check the departure. Okay, so it's 02, right? You click that. And then this will tell me all of the SIDs that I'm going to follow coming out. And we were going with the too far. Come on. We're going out on FTM5M. I didn't designate any trans, but let's... So this takes and does the connections. You may have to manually adjust these. You guys have seen me do this many, many times. So I have a disconnect between an ABLEG and LPPI. So I need to just make sure. You can change this in flight if you like, but I'm coming in ILS 17 Zulu 34, and it's the L3 Able 3T. Not M, so we want to go Able 3T, Able 3T, and just insert. So this basically now has a flight plan that is all connected. I should see, oops. Go back to the top. Okay, Roca, Bamco, Alma, FDM, Zamex, Ableg, Able 3T approach. Now you can pre-condition all of your speeds and your approach altitudes, etc. Right now it's saying from about 15 miles out we want to drop down in the 4,000 foot range. So we'll go ahead and descend down to 4,000 just before we hit the main leg and do the 180 back towards runway 17. We'll be on ILS anyway, so once we have all that set, you can just leave it in that mode if you like, or you can do any of the other steps that you want. But then you got to press the TO config. This tells you all of these basic features, bells and whistles, everything in the cockpit is configured and set. Now, welcome to Lisbon. This is the airport on the outside. You can see I picked the dirty version of the Air France. It should be TAP. Sorry, my friends. I have a friend in Portugal. I can't say obrigado, my friend. I don't have TAP today. But this is the airport view from runway 2. So, with that being said, we get a nice launch angle. I'm going to switch back in the cockpit. I'll set this back up. Okay. Looks like we're all set to go. All right. Did that show up? No, it didn't. Can you see my mouse? I don't know. Let me see if this is back in sync. Sorry, I lost the sync between the game and my desktop for a second. All right. So I'm going to try and keep the throttles in somewhat view here, as well as the rest of the airplane. Both sides are set. We can do a quick controls check for myself personally. So up and down on the stick, left, right, bank, bank, set to go. Okay. Feels right, looks right. Brake released. Set the chrono. Come on, buddy. Punch the clock. I'm already having to put a lot of rudder into the game, so I'm not sure why. But my rudder didn't need it to begin with. It was zeroed out, so anyway, we're past B1. We're going to go ahead and take off here. Ooh, don't buckle. Gear up. Stabilize.
KEV 777 320, contact Lisbon Center on 119.55. Good day.
1,000.
119.55, KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Goodbye. Lisbon Center, KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 is passing 1,400 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Lisbon Center, altimeter 30.00, radar contact. Continue to Bomco.
Now, being I'm the only one in the cockpit, my co-pilot doesn't do any of this stuff. So, whoa, why are we doing it? Oh, we're way off.
It's 2,500.
So we're getting off the ground. It's fairly easy to set stuff up. There isn't any major issues inside the cockpit typically, because you did most of your flight checks on the ground. So they're usually very rare scenario unless you have some power issue. And this is off, so. Huh. Okay. You don't have to have LS on, but I'll turn on for now. Oh, no. I don't want to screw up the flight director. So. Oh, so let's go to 8,000.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777, please expedite your climb 8,000 feet.
Yep, we're rolling. I thought it was 6.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777, climb and maintain flight level 190.
Climb and maintain flight level 190, KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
So we're staying at 260 or not a nautical speed here, just to make sure things are smooth on the standard Europe exit from airport. United States, that's 250. Typically, Europe, it's about the same. Depends on the weather conditions and the location. You have different entry and exits to airports based on rules and agreements with government and local citizenry for noise reduction, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. So, based on this, this was missing, so that's why you got the weight error. So let's quick pop that in there so it maintains a normal process for me. Yeah, this way.
Boarding completed.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here, waiting to see final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft.
What?
We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
I must have typed 600. Okay, so we're at Alama. So I shouldn't get that check weight message anymore. That takes care of this. It helps provide feedback on actual flight execution. So I missed that one. In a hurry showing you guys all this stuff. So typically here you can set your preset. I leave these at default for the moment. So our prediction was to be 18,000 feet. That's what I had programmed, and it went to 19. So I think Microsoft said 19,000. Like, okay. And then you can trigger your approach phase when you're ready. These are all okay. Do. So on the other side of the fence, when we get there, we can use the tool sets here to get that detail if it'll let me get into it. Thank you. So for landing, we're going to load our initial flight plan data. Okay. It's a little glitchy. You have to actually trigger that to be able to select and fill this in. So The elevation for minimums is 188. So your 188 here is your actual 0. So I'll put 300 in here. That's my bare minimum. So this will call out bare minimum when we get there. It's used to help stabilize ILS approach, etc. So the temperature is going to be what you got for MEDAR right now? 26107. Pressure 30, temperature 23. Oh, come on. Okay. So we'll go to full flaps config. It says that my approach would be 138. We had 142 to get off the ground, so we'll do 142. That approach is going to be 2. And my altitude, I want my V approach at 4,000 to synchronize with ILS. My trains, come on, thank you. This basically takes us there. You can set these. I don't worry too much about these. So we have 133 miles, fairly easy the rest of the way. So you can see here we're going to come along and turn around and come back. And we'll trigger ILS when we turn around. Beautiful day. So we're stable, so we can do this. And we can unlock the door. Aircraft is steady and stable. We can click on it. Synchronize. Come on. You're just not wanting to work or what? Man, she froze on me. The game froze on me, man. Can I reset my view? The camera froze. Not the recording, but the game froze. Let's do that. Did my controller stop working? Oh, my game controllers are locked out. We're doomed, man. Is that the reason? Well, I'm gonna fix that in a heartbeat. God dang it. I forget I played GTA and my Xbox controller was on. So it assumed I was screwing around with that. And now these aren't working. Oh, Microsoft, you stink. I'm trying to tell you guys, hey, yeah, go use this and that and this and that and this and that. These are my controllers. And my pedals aren't showing up. Oh, great. Okay, after technical difficulties approach, it's going to be interesting because the controllers got overridden by my Xbox controller sitting on my desk. And for some reason, Microsoft interpreted some sort of change over to Xbox. I'm like, no, I'm not playing on an Xbox, man. Stop messing with my head. That's why you saw me messing around in here trying to reset some stuff. Anyway, looks like we're back to normal. Okay. Mild panic in the air by Kev. Can I push this now and we actually get something? Come on, you're supposed to... Oh, the pad is what's giving me fits. You're the little stinker. Trying to synchronize. Ah, that's what it was. Yeah, nonetheless, I reset everything. Okay, so note to self, when I actually want to enter this, everything else locks out. Like, okay. Freckles. Do the math. Okay, nice 20 degrees, 22, 22, 22. Yeah, baby. Passengers are comfy. Not too hot. We're flying over by the coast. Beautiful Portugal. So on my recording, I'm using the latest DLSS. So for those that don't know, it's AI generated frameworks, etc. to keep this as a smooth looking flight. It looks great on my PC, but I know when it's recording, you guys are seeing some tear or events along edges and garbage along these things when it's flying. And I have played around so much with OBS that it just doesn't work right. So anyway, we're on our way to Porto. 19,000, we switched over. Everything's cool. APC is good to go. So we'll just let that minimize. Go back to VFR. I thought that was causing problems. We should be off track here. So we're not that far out. We've been speeding along. Porto is straight ahead. We stop over here. We're gonna shoot by, turn around, and come back and land. So with that being said, about 40 nautical miles away. 50. It's gonna be right here where the cloud is, of course. So you get to a certain point where you have certain miles until you're going to get to your destination. We're right in that descent recommendation based on speed, etc. So I got to slow this back down because I sped it back up. But it's
777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 descent and maintain 11,000 feet.
so I'm going to reduce to 250.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet.
And then start my descent.
Kilo Echo Victor 777.
As mentioned, and clearance from tower 11,000. So we're now going to throttle back a bit and it's going to drop us down. So by the time we hit this final turn here, we'll be on ILS approach. Everything will be looking good. And because I am starting my descent, and I'm going to turn those bad boys on. I won't worry about the rest of the config until we get closer to 30 miles. So by the time we get to this point right here, we'll start to do all of the cockpit configurations. We've made pretty good time. This was more chit-chat from Kev today than anything else. Sorry about that. But we're in our descent mode, so we're going to lock the door, kick the back of the bus back into their chairs. So we're going to do this. We're going to come up here, ring the bell. He's already made the call, but we're going to ring the bell and we're going to do this and this. These are all set. I'll get these ready when we get closer. We're starting our descent, so we don't have any icing issues. I'm not getting anything there, so I can turn off that. Auto is off. These are set. Got good weather. Wind angle is slightly different than what expected, so my speed's supposed to be 250. I'm right in there, but I'm gonna drop this down eventually here when I hit this checkpoint. We're gonna slow it down some more, but right now we're in our descent. So let's see out the window. There you are, man. Porto. Do you see where we're going? There's the harbor. The city. There's the airport. And we're gonna fly down here. We're gonna turn around and go, ooh. Beauty. Hello. Beautiful Portugal. Beautiful country. At 15,000. Slowly dripping down. Okay, so slowly creeping in. The miles trickle by faster than you think, so sometimes when you're watching this stuff you're like, oh man, I really gotta drop now. So we do have to drop, so I'm gonna click the expedite and let this drill it down. I'm gonna pull this back slightly. So now we're about 30 miles out, right? 32? 32. So we really need to start our descent and our procedures, so we'll do the brakes. I'll push you there.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777, contact Porto approach on 127.155. Good day.
122.455.
127.155 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Goodbye. Porto approach KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 is at 11,200 feet, descending 11,000 feet.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Porto approach altimeter 29.908 radar contact. Continue to PR 612.
2998. Okay.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 contact Lisbon Center on 119.55. Good day.
119.55 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Goodbye. Lisbon Center KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 11,000 feet.
I need to get to 4,000.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Lisbon Center altimeter 29.908 radar contact.
You're gonna screw me up, so I'm going to 4.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777
You're late, man.
and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 3,000 feet, KEV 777, Kilo Echo Victor 777.
KEV 777, Kilo Echo Victor 777. You are 18 miles north. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS Zulu runway 17 approach via Adnov transition.
What the heck is going on?
KEV 777, Kilo Echo Victor 777 descend and maintain 3,200 feet.
Descend and maintain 3,200 feet. Expect ILS Zulu runway 17 approach via Adnov transition. Cleared to Adnov KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
Alright, localizer. Set.
KEV
I need the
777,
speed to
Kilo
drop
Echo Victor
fast.
777 contact Porto approach on 127.155. Good day.
27455 KEV
Going to
777.
127.155 KEV
Whatever the number is.
777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
We're gonna have to do a quick
KEV
flaps.
777 Kilo Echo Victor
Microsoft
777
waited too long to give me the details,
300 feet, descending
as
3,200
usual.
feet.
So he's supposed to follow their
KEV
instructions, but
777,
we're
Kilo
too
Echo
high.
Victor 777 Porto approach altimeter 29.999 radar contact. Continue to 11 PRT.
Oh, I'm gonna do this.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 descend and maintain 2,400 feet.
Descend and maintain 2,400 feet. KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. You are 12 miles north of Porto. Contact Porto Tower on 118.005 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 118.005 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Porto Tower KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 10 miles north inbound ILS Zulu runway 17 approach.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Porto Tower. Altimeter 29.
Come on, turn on.
8 wind 266 at 7. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 17 approach.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 17 approach KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
We're way too high. Might have to do a go around. If I follow this the way you're supposed to. Yeah, thanks, Microsoft. Why won't you pick it up? Jeez. Yeah, I know.
$2,500. 2,500.
Why isn't auto throttle working?
$2,500.
Okay. Let's do this. Come back around, baby. We're turning for home. Freckles, she's bouncy today. Look at that. Microsoft is playing games again. It's a 3-knot wind and you're getting turbulence. Nice. Oh, this game. Loves playing with your brain.
1,000.
1,000? Why am I dropping? I didn't tell you to drip. Little bugger. Didn't tell you to drip. Just told you to turn. Okay.
1,000.
Alright, LS is on. We're at the right altitude. Should have already had glide slope lock, but we're in alignment here. It's up ahead. Looking good. We already got a clearance, but we did a quick reroute back to where we're at, so we're in line. Wheels are down. Aircraft is stable, full flaps, last call for alcohol. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's set below. Set. Call it for final. Alright, Freckles. We're just about to lock. Just below. Six miles. Glide slope lock. ILS engaged. About 1,500 above. Localizer. Alignment. Approach. Drop it down. 152. Runway is in sight. Pilot has visual.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 wind 265 at 7. Clear to land runway 17.
Clear to
Clear to
land.
land runway 17 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor
All right, folks.
777.
This is where you pay the bills. Piece of cake. You got this, right? You're in final orientation. Runway's nice and easy, straight ahead. You got this, man. Don't you love how ILS has you tokened right this way, and you're like, no, that's supposed to be over here. So again, Europe configurations, you just don't know whether to trust them or not. So we're going to get another 300 feet here. We're going to turn auto throttle and autopilot off and take it home. Best part of the whole flight, right here. Stable, so I'll turn it down. I wanted 145.
400. Hundred above.
Pilot's got control.
Minimum.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
I don't know, maybe it's because I got my pedals, but this game likes to, when you disconnect, it lets you just drift anywhere, no matter what your pedals are set at. And you're like, dude, you went offline on me again. It always does it to me. I haven't figured that piece of it out, but anyway, it's fairly easy to fly. Decent landing, slightly right, but right speed and everything else. She touched down without a clunk, so way to go, man. Because we floated in, it didn't need to be that slow. Just as a heads up for you guys, you know, you don't have to fly the bare minimum speed because you're going to float too long in the air. You can get a runway float going. Okay, stop. My pedals. Stop. Holy
Going to
Christ.
121.04 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
Let's just do the fix here. Thank you. Alright. Boom, boom. Shake the room. We gotta fire you up. Boom, boom. Ba, 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 ba. Come on, baby. I need you on it. You go there. You go there. We okay to go? Freckles, did you already get clearance? Where are we going? Departure on 119. Well, why doesn't... That's the beginning.
Porto ground KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 request taxi to the gate.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 taxi to gate Sierra 10 via taxiway Bravo.
Taxiing to gate Sierra 10 via taxiway Bravo KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
Ten, huh? See if my charts are up to date in here. Yeah. I don't have my charts. Which one's 10? Okay, one moment. We have to use third-party integration. Nah. I don't want it on YouTube. Oh, come on, man. LPPR S10 via Bravo map. Sorry, I'm trying to find my LPPR map. It's not recognized. You stinker. Sorry, we're going to sit here for a minute until I find the dang Portugal. Are you not? Do you not have a... Okay, so I'll have to use a different map. Where's 10? There's 20 through 30, but where's 10? There is no 10. And the far end, is that far end? Are you serious? Okay, well... Let's go down to the end. Come on, rudders. Holy smokes. Reorientate. Stop. Why is it doing this to me, man? The rudder control is just out of whack. Well, we'll see if it's painted correctly, but... No, I don't want to fly to Porto. I want to see gate 10. Oh, Fuji. Fujiyama. Alright, guys. Ground didn't give us any details of which one's 10. So, is it that one over there, or is it this one here? I don't know. We'll go to the one on the end, I guess. I got nobody in front telling me I gotta be here, so am I on the line? You guys aren't directing me at all. He's just sitting around staring at me, man. Where's the dude with the sticks? Is this Portugal or Buenos Aires? I don't know, man. Okay. Am I on it? Looks like it. Okay. I can see my switch in. I gotta reset my controllers. Switch is off. Okay. Bye-bye. Bada bing, bada boom. Everybody happy. Okay. Let's see if this works. I haven't tried this in a while, so let's go back and see. Hey! They actually got it right. Where's my power? Do I got power? Cool, man. Oop. You gotta adjust that so that sets right. Dun, 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 dun. We can go there. Set, set, set. Off. Off. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Okay. Scooby. And that's how you do this. Isn't that right, Freckles? There goes your luggage. I don't know what airline that is supposed to represent. Cool. Well, my friends, we'll do a return flight in 24, and we'll show you what that looks like in comparison. But for this week, thanks for being here. You've had about an hour and a half worth of fun and conversation with Kev. So remember, be safe, smile, chase a smile today, make good choices. I'll see you next time.